Hi, hello there internet. How are you? Happy International Women's Day. It's not International Women's Day when I'm posting this, but it is when I'm filming this, and I thought it would be a good idea for me to celebrate the day by talking about this TV show that was directed by a woman that stars female characters that then went on to have all of these different remakes and all of these different languages and countries and shit, and talk about my favorite one. Okay, so let me talk about a couple of things that I like. I really like that love yourself, arm yourself graffiti. I really like Nora's No es No shirt. I hope that everybody in the show, including you, Alejandro, they read that shirt, they take it seriously. I also really like that scene where Viri needs to go to the gynecologist to see if she has genital herpes. It's usually like a comedic scene when the girls all go to the gyno together, but I really love that when they go to the gyno, we see all of these encouraging messages on the fins. I felt something in here in my heart because women's health is unfortunately very controversial. It's something that we have to fight for, we have to protect. I don't know, I like seeing those messages of support. I think it was in episode 7, we see all of the girl squad and all of the boy squad sit together in a circle, and Cris decides that since Nora's parents aren't at home this weekend, that Nora needs to throw a party. We have one character saying that he'll bring the alcohol. Other characters are asking who else can we invite to this party. And then this one dude, oh my god, he is so fucking excited to share his mother's cooking with his friends. It's like he loves his mother's cooking so much that he's just overwhelmed with joy at the idea of sharing it with everybody. And it was really cute to see like the party underway. Nora's clearly nervous because everybody in the school is at her house. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, here's my plate of food. Here we go. So cute. This March, we're getting 2 different Isak storylines. We're concluding the one from Scum France, and then we're getting another one from Druck. And then we're getting at least 3 different Nora stories. Italian Nora, American Nora, Dutch Nora. I don't know what's going on with the Belgian remake, if we're getting another season of that. Skam España, they're like, screw it. Let's give you an original season. One that none of the other remakes have done. Not even the original Skam gave us a Cris season, and we're getting a fucking Cris season in season 2. And oh my god, I just want to say, giving us a Cris season is awesome and amazing on its own. But even when I first started watching the show, when I was watching the first episode, it felt like such a breath of fresh air. I watched it in the height of my Scum remake burnout, which I talked about in a different video. In all of the clip 2s of all of the remakes that I've seen, it's always the exact same scene of Eva in her bedroom on the internet talking to her Isak character, talking shit about Sarah's false eyelashes. Then her Jonas comes in and she grills him about where he's been. And it really bothered me how those scenes were like exactly the same. I mean, they changed some things, like instead of talking about false eyelashes, maybe it's talking about the dance team, maybe it's talking about a septum ring, maybe it's talking about her tits. Those are like small details where the scene itself and the conversations are pretty much exactly the same. I watched Skam España, and the first scene we get Eva doing the opening monologue, and it's not followed by a conversation about Eva's grades. It's followed by this cute little scene with Lucas, Jorge, and Eva. It's the last day of summer. They're gonna start school the next day, and they're all chilling, having fun, laughing, enjoying each other's company. And then the camera focuses on Lucas and you hear kissing noises, and it establishes that he's the third wheel, he's the odd guy out. And then the second scene is just a continuation of the first scene that we see from all of the other remakes and from the original, where we see Ines, the Spanish version of Ingrid. And again, this one was different because Jorge is then joined by the boys squad. They start talking about the concert that they're gonna go to, and they forgot to tell Eva about it, and it's too late for her to get tickets because it's already sold out. They bought those tickets months ago. Jorge's having so much fun talking to his friends, laughing, and we see Eva on the outside of the circle, and we see that she feels alone. So I like that they established that information in a brand new way. And then following that, we have Eva in class. We're introduced to a character, Laura, who everybody thought was Spanish Nora until we were introduced to Spanish Nora, and then we were like, okay, then who the hell is that girl? And then we find out in episode 6 that that girl is actually Spanish Eben. We just didn't know it at the time because she wasn't yet dating Cris. So anyway, we're introduced to her. We see Amira for the first time, and we see some girls talking shit about her because this is the first time they've ever seen her wear a hijab. She did not wear a hijab last year. I'm sitting here thinking, this is brand new information. This is an important character, and we're getting like new and different information about her within the first 10 minutes of the first episode. And then we do finally get that clip of Eva in her bedroom. She's scrolling through Instagram. She's not talking to Lucas. There's no conversation about fucking false eyelashes. And we don't get her grilling Jorge. And I get why that's like important to the story of Eva grilling Jonas. It establishes that she distrusts Jonas and she's wondering if he's cheating on her. And there's so many different ways and so many opportunities to establish that distrust. And they do establish that distrust later on. So I like how that was done. I really like what they did with Ines. I think that she had a lot more scenes than original Ingrid did. When we first see Ines, all of the other Ingrids say the exact same thing. No. This girl didn't just ignore Eva and then call her a whore and walk away. One, I love that fucking catwalk walk that she did. I love how she's so fucking dramatic and so direct. She tells Eva exactly how she's feeling. This cell phone video, by the way, is from an original clip.
Eva, tienes que disculparte por haber estado consolándome cuando a la vez te lo estabas puto tirando, tío. ¡Pares ya, que no seas así, joder! ¡Discúlpate!
By the way, I did not know this when I made that video about my favorite remake where I talked about how much I love Skam España. They have extra clips that aren't a part of the episode but that further develop the characters. So after you find out about all of the shit that happened between Ines and Jorge and Eva, we then see a clip of Eva scrolling through her phone, going down memory lane, looking at all these pictures and videos and WhatsApp messages between her and Ines and Jorge, and we find out how the cheating went down, why it happened, what happened after Ines found out. She was fucking pissed. Oh yeah, and because we see more Ines, we see her being awful to Eva in front of the other girls, and the other girls are wondering like, what the hell is going on? And Amira directly asks about that at a party. I really liked seeing how defensive the girls were of Eva. I want to stress to you, for those who have not seen this show, this is not a show that goes like clip by clip. They do what the original did. They change a few details around, but it stays like on the same track always. No, they bring in information from all of these different episodes and put them into an original clip. They don't every once in a while give you a wild card, but then set you down this very familiar path. No, the changes keep on coming. I feel like with the relationship between Jorge and Eva, we got a lot of original content. We got a lot of the same plot points, but we also got like an alternative route to get there that develops the characters differently. I'd definitely say one of the biggest changes of Skam España is how they developed my boy Lucas. Okay, so we all know that the Esau character is gay, right? And the first hint that we're given in the original, as well as in many of the other remakes, is the whole, oh, you like gay songs comment, followed by like homophobic remarks by Jonas's friend. This is the first clue that we get in Skam España.
Pero seguro que se quieren liar con alguna de vosotras, ¿eh? No piensan en otra cosa esos chavales.
Bueno, como todos, ¿no? Vamos ahí.
También es verdad.
Pico pala.
So I really like that. Nobody's homophobic. And then again, we find out that original Esau is for sure gay when his phone outs him. And that's not how things go down in Skam España. I felt like his coming out was treated with such dignity and respect. And again, this like alters the relationship dynamics. So you know that trope of the gay guy who's there to help his straight friends through all of their problems and be their therapist and not deal with problems of his own because he doesn't even have his own life. This guy has a life. He has problems. Okay, I sided with Eva during the whole cabin trip thing. Like, I know what it's like to be excited for something and then have somebody play video games while you want to like do something else. Anyway, those guys all came to the cabin not to smoke pot, but they all came because they knew that Lucas was having trouble at home and they all wanted to come and support him. That's so awesome and amazing and loving, and I love that he has that support in his life. And I really like what they did with Eva and Lucas's relationship because we see Eva hang out with Lucas with Jorge, or she hangs out with Lucas on her own. But when she talks to Lucas on her own, she's always talking about Jorge. And I got annoyed with that. I really like this scene. First off, Eva tells Lucas, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. So he goes to her, he talks, he tells her that his dad just left, he doesn't know where the hell he is. His parents might be going through a divorce and he'd almost rather his parents have a divorce than be in this situation that he's in right now. She doesn't know what to say, which is common. You don't always know how to respond to your friends having problems, and that's okay. But then she swerves that conversation back to her and Jorge, going on and on and on and on and on about Jorge. And you can see Lucas being so annoyed until he finally fucking snaps. I was not expecting Lucas to call Eva out like that, but I'm so glad that he did, because when he did that, I started thinking to myself, she only talks to him about Jorge. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think that she went up to him. I'll ask him about his family problems, because then after that I can go on and on and on and on about Jorge. Her whole relationship with Lucas is centered around Jorge, to the point where she doesn't know how to talk to him about anything besides Jorge. But since Lucas brought that up, that allowed Eva some time to reflect and then go back to him and say that her relationship with Jorge and her relationship with Lucas are two separate things. Whatever happens with Jorge, she's gonna keep that relationship with Lucas. I'm so excited for what's to come with this friendship. This kid has a YouTube channel, which I'm living for. I've already subscribed. I love that in Lucas's YouTube video, he says that he wouldn't try to pursue something with a girl because that's not fair to the girl. He just scalped all of the other Esau's, and it was awesome. And again, I think that that fits the character, because we know that he's struggling with himself and he's not totally confident with the fact that he is gay, but he has an amazing support system that the original Esau didn't quite have at this point in time. But also, when it comes to season 3 of Original Scum, I thought it was very good. And I really liked that they dealt with the coming out story separately from the love story, and that Esau comes out when he and Evan are not together. But But I also feel like season 3 was too damn short, and there were a lot of things that we barely scratched the surface of. I would have loved to have learned more about Isak's family, Evan's mental illness, more development on his relationship with the girls, which we see in Scum France. We see the relationship with the girls, but maybe if we're doing the coming out story early and we're not even gonna have a Spanish Emma storyline, then that's gonna free up space where we can then go more in depth in what's going on with his family, what's going on with Spanish Evan, and then seeing more of the girl squad and boy squad together. One of the things that I really like about the remakes is seeing when characters who did not interact with each other much in the original, seeing how their relationship develops and morphs and changes. It's so interesting. I love it. So we see pictures with Cris and Nora and Lucas all together. So I'm guessing we're gonna see those 3 as friends in season 2, and that's just, I'm so excited for that. But maybe it will also explore their identities, because there's so much more than coming out. There's also like finding a community. Maybe they could like go to Pride, get more like politically active, find an LGBT youth center, something like that. I mean, maybe not, but it's a possibility. They could do that. Of the girl squad, Cris and Amira are the only 2 who were friends before the season started. Cris knew Amira before Amira started wearing the hijab. In the extra clip, we see Nora and Cris are wondering if Amira is flirting with some guy, and Cris mentions how before Amira wore the hijab, she flirted with guys all the time. In episode 2, Amira says that she doesn't drink, and Cris is like, since when? Which implies that at some point in time Amira used to drink, and maybe she used to drink profusely, who knows. So I'm definitely interested in seeing that Cris and Amira friendship. I know that some people on Tumblr, they're very excited for the possibility of her having a female love interest. This is based off of some artwork in her banner, as well as we saw her kissing a girl. I'm not holding my breath for that, to be honest. I think that her love interest is going to be Hugo. I do hope that we get some story about bisexuality within that. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, but I'm excited for like everything else that's gonna happen in this season. I cannot fucking wait. Hey, so definitely feel more than free to disregard everything that I just said. I was expecting Chris's love interest to be Hugo, because that's the way the story always goes. When a nice guy likes a girl and she rejects him because she doesn't want something serious, she doesn't want to be in a relationship, he usually ends up convincing her and they get together in the end. But no, that's not how Skam España is doing this. So I am more than happy that we are getting a female love interest for the first time in Scum history. We're gonna follow a love story between 2 girls. This is everything that I dreamed of. I feel like since I filmed the rest of this video, my reasons for loving Skam España have like quadrupled. We had this, we had Lucas coming out to his friends, we had the cast go to a women's march in character and live stream it on Instagram. That was very nice. I get to watch this live and be surprised, and you bet I'm gonna stan this season the way I'm standing Scum France right now. Even more so because this one has more opportunity to surprise me. Can't wait to see what new relationships form and develop. Can't wait to see Eva and Lucas talk about something else that isn't fucking Jorge. So if you have not already watched Scam España season 1, fucking watch it. Fucking watch it. Fucking watch it. And then we can all watch season 2 together. Okay, so let's talk about the Women's March. I loved seeing all those posts on Instagram. Viri was surprised that Amira was like interested in women's rights and in feminism. I like that Nora isn't the only one who's interested in feminism. It's something that's very important to Eva as well as Amira.